Would you all please be seated? Apologies if I stand here in silence, I just want to take in the moment. Good morning, fellow students, faculty, and family. I can honestly say I've been waiting for this moment since grade 7, the opportunity to share my life in a very unique way. I'd have 8 minutes to capture my life to those around me in total perspective. But what would I say? What would it sound like? When I heard that Upper School Chapel Week would fall under the theme of compassion, I was ecstatic and relieved, and I knew exactly what I needed to share. So there's no clear definition of compassion. It comes in many different shapes, sizes, and forms. And its definition is something personal and profound that can only be defined by the individual who experiences it. For me, I've been fortunate enough to know compassion in many ways from my family and my friends. But there's one moment that stands out for me above all as the most compassionate act that I've yet to experience. And today, I'll be sharing with you this moment and one of the major influences in my life, my biggest mistake, and how the compassion of another saved me and encouraged me to live the remainder of my life with the compassion I was shown in my time of need. So, it starts in grade 9. I was lucky enough to be nominated to go to OELC, a place where many of you in this room can call home. OELC is a leadership camp which helps to develop your leadership and interpersonal skills through athletics. I can still remember one of the very first days, a small activity where a group would have to throw an omnican ball, and for those who do not know, an omnican ball is essentially a massive, unavoidable dodgeball into the air, and one team member would try and catch it. And I remember my smaller, more courageous friend saying, "Mine!" at the top of her lungs as the hurtling mass of plastic came falling from the sky. She was utterly flattened. Okay, not as much laughs, so you may have had to be there to find that funny. What I'm trying to get at is this place is home for me, and I would do anything to go back. So that week, I applied to be a leader counselor, and that would allow me to be a role model for students grades 6 to 9, 2 weeks later. Lucky for me, I was honored to be accepted into the position, and 3 weeks later, I came back for the job. I learned many new leadership styles, an understanding of responsibility, and team management skills, tools I still use on a daily basis. I was responsible for 13 brilliant young leaders, and I would watch over them and be a big brother for them during the week. Yet again, another amazing experience that left me wanting more. I came up again the following summer as a counselor. By this time, this place was home for me. I had my friends and family that were expecting me to be there, and I couldn't wait to see them. But nearing the end of the unforgettable week, on the very last night, I made my mistake. I stayed out past curfew. I broke a camp rule, and I stayed out with a friend, and we were in trouble. My friend was at the camp as a counselor for their very first year, and I felt absolutely terrible, thinking in the back of my head that our lapse of judgment may not give them a chance to come back again. An amazing experience ruined by a single moment of irresponsibility. And it's said that decisions made in real time aren't always perfect, but I had to make one. I was thinking that the only way to give them an opportunity to come back would be to make them look like they did the right thing, to lie while they told the truth. When I was asked what happened that night, I lied, and I cannot express the guilt and sadness that I experienced while doing it. It broke my heart that I was lying to the face of part of my family, and that the guilt, it was just so overwhelming that I began to cry. Between being a bad role model and not following camp policies, and not even owning up for my actions, I knew there was little chance of me returning to my place that I call home. So I left the next day along with everyone else with a crooked smile, knowing that I would not likely be able to attend again, but also knowing that my friend was rewarded for their honesty and would have the opportunity to come back another week. Now, weeks went by when I could barely get through a conversation. I lost the place I had called home, and I didn't know where to go. But around 3 weeks later, I received an email from Steve Badgley, a teacher counselor that worked above me. He said, "James, I'm sorry I wasn't a part of the questioning process, and I would like you to call me to talk about what happened that night and the next steps moving forward." When I called him, I spent the better part of an hour explaining everything that happened that night, why I lied, and how deeply sorry I was for my irresponsible act. When I was finally done, he replied sincerely, "I know you're a good guy, a great leader, and I know that this starfish is worth saving. This one mistake is not reflective of who you are, and I'm going to do my best to get you back again." He helped me with a letter to the administrators, explaining what happened that night, why I lied, and justifying my actions, although wrong, and my sincerest apologies for the harm I caused the camp. I played the waiting game for around 7 months, and after so, I received an email from Mr. Badgley again. He had spoken with the administrators and advocated on my behalf, and to my surprise, he told me that I'd be allowed to apply again as a leader counselor. He said to me, "You're an oppressive leader, and the one solitary incident that occurred doesn't change that. I encourage you to return, James." I was saved. So I've made many mistakes in my life, but I need to be specific and very clear. They are not regrets. Regrets are when you make a mistake and you do not learn from it, and I can safely say that I learned one of the most important lessons in my life, the importance of a second chance. I would not be the person I am today without the compassion I was shown, and although he couldn't make it today, I'd just like the time to say, thank you, Mr. Badgley. I will always be grateful for the compassion you showed me. Last summer when I returned for my 3rd year as a counselor, I learned another form of compassion. On the first day, I met my group of 12 to 14 boys I would spend the week with, and I learned lots about each one of them. They were all excellent leaders, but one stood out to me as something special. Let's call him John. It looked like he had everything going for him. He was smart, funny, athletic, and motivated. But that wasn't all there was to John. On the 3rd last day, John was looking rather sad throughout the activities, and I pulled him aside and I said to him, "Listen, I just want you to know if there's anything, like anything you need at all, a laugh, someone to talk to, shoulder to lean on, someone to play a game with, I'm always going to be here for you, okay? Is everything all right?" He broke, and he opened up to me. He told me about how he felt that sometimes he doesn't fit in with the other leaders, and that he doesn't feel like he belongs there. He also explained to me how much stress he had in his life, between his schoolwork, athletics. There was just so much he had to do to be the best at. He couldn't handle it. It was too stressful. He told me he had suicidal thoughts. He had kept all this bottled up inside him for so long, and he finally expressed his feelings to someone who's almost a complete stranger. He needed someone. What did I do? What would you do? I told him the truth. I told him how amazing he was, how everyone in the camp looked up to him, and how well respected he was, how much of a strong leader he was, how his smile can put a smile on anybody's face, how funny he was, how athletic he was, and how motivated he was, and how that inspired everyone around him to be their best. The smallest gestures can sometimes make the biggest impacts. And he was shocked. With a goofy smile, he hugged me and thanked me. And now the last few days were absolutely amazing. Seeing the difference in John was like light and day. And he was a better leader than ever before. And on the last days when we'd all say our goodbyes, John was one of the hardest ones. When we parted ways, we hugged with tears in our eyes, knowing that although we may not see each other again, we will always remember each other for the significant impacts we've played in each other's lives. Now, to quote the famous Albus Dumbledore, kindness is a trait that never tends to go undervalued. And the type of compassion I showed John is unique in nature, as it resembles kindness, but what it is above all is empathy. Empathy for the one fundamental requirement that exists in every single person in the world, every single person in this room, that every single one of us wants to feel appreciated and loved. The impact you can make on someone with just a compliment is amazing, and it can truly make a difference in their life. I think John is part of the reason I feel the need to tell everybody all the time how amazing they are in their own ways, because I know firsthand that a small gesture like this can go such a long way. And it's something anyone can do, and it's as simple as this. Tandia, thank you for being an amazing sister, and thank you for your patience with me while I figure my own life out. Ricardo, thank you for being an amazing roommate. I will never forget this year, and I hope to stay in contact with you next year. To all my upper schoolers, you have one of the most amazing, uncontainable enthusiasms that I've ever seen, and if you put it to good use, you can truly change the world. Your spirit is like nothing I've ever seen, and you're such a big part of making Appleby the community it is. my fellow senior twos, probably the greatest group of individuals I've met in my life. And I know each one of you is going to do something absolutely amazing and spectacular. Thank you for all the memories this year, and thank you for making my senior year unforgettable. But above all, and to sum it up, compassion for me has been defined by my experiences. Compassion is the ability to find it in one's heart, to accept someone for their mistakes, and to move past it. Compassion is also the understanding that everybody wants to be appreciated and loved, and the ability to just tell them how great they are. And above all, this puts a smile on my face more than anything else, knowing that everyone in this room has the ability to change someone's day and possibly change someone's life. Now would you all please rise and sing 423.